Good evening. It's Monday, the 2nd of January, and it's time for the news on RIK 2. Government spokesman Nikos Christodoulidis has said that efforts for a Cyprus solution will take place on 3 levels, culminating with an international conference on security issues on January the 12th. Christodoulidis said the first level relates to the meetings in Nicosia between the negotiators and those of Anastasiades and Turkish Cypriot leader Mustafa Kemal in the search of further convergences and issues still pending. He added that these efforts will continue at the Geneva meetings from January the 9th to 11th, which will hopefully lead to the exchange of maps showing territorial adjustments. He said the third level will be the most decisive one, as it will end in an agreement or disagreement on security issues. Christodoulidis said that Anastasiades and Greek Prime Minister Alexis Tsipras are expected to have several telephone conversations and also personal meetings, with the foreign ministers of Cyprus and Greece getting involved. Commenting on a meeting of the National Council later this week, Christodoulidis said he hoped that the participating parties will not only be briefed on the process up until then, but will also become parties in the making on decisions aimed at a solution of the reunification of Cyprus and ending the military occupation. Finance Minister Haris Georgiadis and the leaders of the two biggest trade unions, SEC and BEO, will on Wednesday sign an agreement tying salaries in semi-governmental organisations to changes in the growth of the economy. The agreement had been reached in August 2015, but as Georgiadis explained, it had been shelved pending discussion on legislation with similar provisions for the salaries in the public service. The legislation, providing also for other reforms in the public service, has been voted down by the opposition parties who command a majority in Parliament. Georgiadis also said that the Council of Ministers is expected to approve this month his proposal extending a moratorium on hiring new staff by the public service so as to avoid increasing its payroll. He said that an ad hoc committee will decide on new appointments in the public service after a thorough examination of each case. Georgiadis was critical of the opposition parties for the dismissal of the reform legislation, but he added that a new effort will be made to strike an agreement on the issue. Islamic State claimed responsibility today for the New Year's Day mass shooting in a packed Istanbul nightclub that killed 39 people, as Turkish police continue their manhunt for the sole attacker who remains at large. Turkish police distributed a hazy black and white photo of the alleged attacker taken from security footage. Islamic State made its claim in a statement on one of its Telegram channels, calling its attacks blessed operations. It said that a heroic soldier of the Caliphate struck one of the most famous nightclubs where the Christians celebrate what it called their apostate holiday. The authorities believe the assailant may be from a Central Asian nation and suspect he had links to Islamic State. Among the dead are 27 nationals of Saudi Arabia, Morocco, Lebanon, Libya, Israel, India, a Turkish-Belgian dual citizen, and a Franco-Tunisian woman. At least 16 people were killed by a car bomb in a busy square in Baghdad's sprawling Sadr city district today as government troops continued their advance in Mosul and Islamic State fighters attacked military positions north of the capital and killed 16 pro-government fighters. Islamic State claimed responsibility for the blast, which also wounded more than 40 people, but Islamic State regularly targets civilian areas in the heavily fortified capital. 3 bombs killed 29 people across the capital on Saturday, and an attack near the southern city of Najaf yesterday left 7 policemen dead. US-backed Iraqi forces are currently fighting to push Islamic State from the northern city of Mosul, taking over 3 more neighborhoods. Since the offensive began on October the 17th, elite forces have retaken a quarter of Mosul. As Russian diplomats expelled from the United States arrived in Moscow, a top aide to President-elect Donald Trump has said in an interview that the White House may have disproportionately punished Russia by ordering their expulsion as suspected spies. Incoming White House Press Secretary Sean Spicer said on ABC's This Week that Trump will be asking questions of U.S. intelligence agencies for allegedly hacking political groups in the 2016 U.S. presidential election. Spicer said that one of the questions to be put is why the magnitude of the measure and whether it was in proportion to the alleged act. Trump is to have briefings with intelligence agencies this week. Trump himself has expressed continued skepticism over whether Russia was responsible for computer hacks of Democratic Party officials. Thieves broke into a house in Kisonerga, Paphos on New Year's Eve, getting away with €4,000 in cash and jewellery of a yet unknown value. Police said that thieves made their entry into the house through a French window which had been left unlocked. Investigators have collected evidence from the house in the hope that it will lead to the culprits. And now a look at the weather. Cloud at times tomorrow will lead to isolated rain and snow over higher ground. Winds will be light to moderate southwesterly to northwesterly, force 3 to 4. The sea will be slight. Temperatures will reach 14 Celsius inland and in coastal areas, and 3 over the mountains where frost is expected. A cloud cover at times will lead to local rain over the next 2 days and to snow over the mountains. Cloudy weather will persist on Friday. The temperatures will drop slightly on Wednesday and will remain unchanged on Thursday and Friday. That's all for today. Join us tomorrow again for more news in English. Have a very good evening.